want me to dog your showers, Cedric?
Oh my god!
We've all been here, right? Hit by a shot that was complete bullshit. Or maybe you're going for a spray down and you get your own Pulp Fiction moment of divine intervention. There's no denying that there's randomness in Valorant. I mean, the devs openly talk about how after 4 bullets, guns will spray randomly within a certain threshold. That's why there's that first bullet spread stat on the buy menu. But are there other variables in Valorant that contribute to the game's randomness? Why are we playing this game for millions of dollars if there are factors outside of your control? Well, thankfully, we're here to look at all the factors that contribute to the randomness of Valorant, explain why this randomness exists, and see if it's that big of a deal in the grand scheme of competitive Valorant. So first off, let's go over random things that are intentional in Valorant, meaning the developers coded them into the game for a reason. You have things like bullet spread, first bullet accuracy, and movement penalty, all of which were purposely put in the game by Riot.
You know, it's important to us that you can't move and shoot really accurately because we want it to be critical to you, your positioning and thinking about a fight before you get into it.
And they make total sense. If you're moving while shooting or spraying wildly, your bullets are gonna go all over. We're not playing Call of Duty over here. First bullet accuracy is just what the name implies. It's how accurate your first bullet is.
This is what first bullet accuracy is like in this game.
In Valorant, only 4 guns have perfect first bullet accuracy: the Guardian, the Marshal, the Operator, and the newly added Outlaw. And these 4 guns only have perfect first bullet accuracy when you're aiming down sights. Every other gun in the game has a chance that your shot will be slightly off your crosshair by varying degrees. Largely, this doesn't really affect the game. The only time you get screwed by this is in long-range fights where a fraction of a millimeter can turn into a few inches off downrange. So now that we have the intentional randomness covered, what about the unintentional random elements? Things like server desync or game bugs. Well, there's no great answer for this. It's just the realities of playing an online game that's made by humans. Game bugs are always going to happen. A game like Valorant probably has millions of lines of code, all interacting with each other. Sometimes something comes through that's unintentional. A perfect example of this is our game on Lotus versus Leviathan. There was one round where John threw his orb and wasn't able to pick it back up again. This wasn't intentional, at least not yet. I'm looking at you, Viper Nerfs. But it was something that just kind of happened. I guarantee you wouldn't be able to recreate that bug in 1,000 tries. It was just the perfect mix of circumstances that made the code for picking up the orb break. It's just one of those things you have to deal with when you're playing a video game. Along the same lines, server lag and desync are also part of the realities of playing an online game. Sure, we try to mitigate it with 128 tick servers and high-speed internet, but at the end of the day, there's always going to be a little desync from what you see on your screen and what's reflected on the server. You may have heard of the term peeker's advantage. This is exactly what desync is. Let's do a little visualization. You have 2 players, the peeker and the defender. The defender is holding an angle. The peeker swings the angle and takes the fight. What's happening here is the peeker swings. The information goes from the peeker's computer to the server. The server then sends that data to the defender. Because the defender has to react to the peeker, they're going to be a few milliseconds behind what the peeker sees. Thus, the peeker has an advantage. Now, this is highly dependent on ping, server quality, etc. And sure, it might just be a fraction of a second, but we've all had those times where you could have sworn you shot first and the server didn't catch it. Thankfully, in a post-COVID world, Riot has made all the VCT matches played on LAN, meaning there's basically no delay at the pro level since all the PCs are plugged directly into the server. So, while it may not be perfect, these unplanned random elements are just the cost of doing business.
Be honest, how random is Valorant?
I think this game is hella random.
This game is very random.
I think,
It is.
dude, I think a lot of shit is just luck in this game.
I said this on stream, maybe a hot take, but I think it's gonna be really hard for like a team in Valorant to actually create a dynasty, just because the nature of the game. It's like it's very hard to like consistently win or consistently be at the top. So there's like just months where like you'll play the exact same, but you're just having like a bad month of Valorant, and that's just it.
Yeah.
But what about those moments where somebody sprays through smoke and gets a kill? You might say that was random, but was it really? There's definitely some level of luck there, but it's not completely random. That actually comes down to a player's game sense. I know this isn't Valorant, but it's just such a perfect example I needed to use it. For a little background, this is from the CS2 event IEM Katowice. In Valorant terms, it's essentially like a Masters event. This 17-year-old kid Donk came out of nowhere and just annihilated the competition. A lot of it through his game sense.
Across secret, try and take this space as quick as you like, and oh my lord.
He's done it again. Donk, an opening kill this time to stop. FaZe Clan
He just internally knew, had a gut feeling, or felt the timing in his bones for when those guys would be walking through the smoke. And not just when, but how far they could have moved within the smoke. Sure, Valorant is a different game, but the principle still stands. Think of all the times you hit a seemingly random shot based on a gut feeling. Now imagine you've put several thousand more hours in, like the pros have, and imagine what your spidey sense would be like. So now that we've defined the two types of variables, intentional and unintentional randomness, this begs the question, why would there be intentional randomness in a game people are playing for millions of dollars? Some might argue that this lessens the competition, since the players aren't 100% in control, and what we want to see is the best of the best performing at their best. But this would remove all the intangible things we love from competition. Those, oh my god, I can't believe that happened moments. Like when Tens hits an insane spray transfer, or when John QT magically lands a running shot that changes the course of Valorant esports history. These are the moments where everyone jumps on their feet. They can't believe what they're seeing. The moments where the esports gods smile on one player and shit on another. So why do we play a game for money if we don't control every variable? Well, why do you play football? Sorry, American football, I'm from Ohio, outside in the rain or snow? Why do we play poker if the cards you are dealt are random? The point of competition is to control the factors you can control, and if you do that well enough, you'll come out on top.
How do I hit Immortal currently hardstuck Ascendant? Probably win a few games.
It's about having a game where randomness does not determine the outcome in a majority of cases. We're not just flipping coins out here. Miss your spray down because of a rogue bullet? Well, maybe you should have jiggled, got the first kill, and then re-swung for the spray down. Miss a long range shot because of first bullet inaccuracy? Why are you taking a fight from that range? It's about reading the situation and limiting the variables that you can control. That's what makes esports so great. We all play games. We all play Valorant. We've been in similar situations as the pros. Sure, it's online and with shitty teammates and blah, 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 blah. But I've held that angle. I've made those decisions, and it didn't work out for me like it worked out for Zekin or Tens. At least for me, when I'm watching the pros play, I'm trying to download as much info on their technique and their decision making so that I can do better in my games. So the next time you whiff a spray down, think about what you could have done differently to give yourself a better chance at hitting those shots. Sure, there's a ton of strategy and macro play in Valorant. Hell, that's what our series Game Sense is about. But what also makes tactical FPS games so great is that you can always find something to improve on in the micro sense. A better way to jiggle a corner, a better way to take a fight. Sure, you'll never be perfect, but it's about that pursuit. That's what makes esports so great. That's what makes competition so compelling. Or maybe I'm just up my own ass and you died because of lag and the game is random as fuck. I don't know, man. Just buy a Phantom and spam smokes like Ten says.
Phantom or Vandal?
In theory, like the Vandal would be better because like, oh, I shoot the person in the head once and they die. But the thing is, like, Valorant can be kind of random, and then also just all the utility, like you don't even know what's happening on your screen most of the time. If there's like 4 ults around, like what's going on? I'm just shooting. I get a random dink somewhere with the Phantom, and then I'm chilling.
Yeah, we take those.
Yeah, so I would have to say the Phantom. The Phantom is just more reliable.
Yeah.